Sahna Bhavatu Sahnau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Whom may He protect us both. May we both enjoy together. May we both exert together. May our studies become brilliant. May we not become disputatious and hate each other. Om, peace, peace, peace. Everybody, welcome to the classes. So basically, what the scriptures teach us, any scripture for that matter, is there are two ways of living a life. The first way, which we are taught by the society, by people around us, is the way of taking. You keep on taking things from others constantly with the whole lifestyle attitude of what can I get out of him or her. It can be material wealth, it can be emotions, it can be relationships, it can be knowledge. How much can I get it? So the whole relationship of this personality with the whole world, as a matter of fact, is based on just taking, taking, and more taking. A basically selfish way of living. And a selfish way of living is, since I am catering only to myself at every given point of time, the world does not cater to me always. And therefore, more often than not, I end up getting more agitated than what I was before. So every time I have 10 desires that I want to do this, I want to do this. Out of that, perhaps 4 gets completed. And every point of time, 6 or 7 or 8 desires are unfulfilled. So the vision of life becomes unfulfilled desires vis-a-vis the fulfilled desires. And unfulfilled desires are always much more than the fulfilled. Therefore, they always get up getting more and more agitated. This is a selfish life based on the law of taking. Such a person is constantly agitated and tensed. This is nicely shown in the life of animals, because any animal, when we are talking about taking, for example, a carnivorous animal, a lion or a tiger, or even a dog for that matter, every time they keep on looking over their shoulders whether anybody is coming or not, especially the lion, jackals, hyena, they keep on looking here and there because that is the way they hunt. They hunt from behind to attack. So they are also afraid that whether somebody else will hunt them. That kind of a focus is a selfish life. Always afraid of everything. Vis-a-vis an attitude of giving. An attitude of giving is an unselfish, or what we call a selfless life. An unselfish life, a selfless life, where we are talking about the attitude of giving. The focus in their life is, what can I do for you? So every time, wherever they are living, however they are living, in whatever circumstances they are living, their attitude will be, what can I do for you? As a teacher used to always mention, après vous, after you. Just that attitude of giving. So giving is what we are talking about in life. Taking is what the world already does. Taking is talking about rights. This is my right and I should have it. This is my right. My right is, as a woman, I should be respected such. As a man, I should be respected as a husband. This is the right, means your authority. Rather than duties. I need to do. You can only do duty. You can only be in the vicinity of giving when you have understood, or when we have understood that we have received enough. Whenever the understanding that we have received enough comes, then the thought of giving comes. And once you're based your life on giving, then you are taken care of. That's this beautiful law by Swami Ramatirtha. Seek the higher and lower is taken care of. These laws, there are no exceptions to the laws. Okay, so it is not that I'm trying to seek the higher, still I'm getting agitated. It is not possible. It cannot be. Yeah? Seek the higher and lower. So your sustenance, every aspect of your life is taken care of if your thoughts are based on giving. I've given this example many times. A rose is red because it absorbs all the 6 colors and gives out the red color. It is known by the color it gives. And since it gives out red color, it is a red rose. You are known by what you give. Why I'm telling you all this is because Arjuna's question, which we had done, is, I have Shraddha. Shraddha is, I have that full faith in the higher, in that aspect of self-realization. And I want to become good. I want to become better. In fact, I want to become the best I can be, not in comparison with the world, but with the comparison of my own past. But my mind is not controlled easily. It goes through various passions. It goes through anger, it goes through jealousy, it goes through greed, it goes through fear, it goes through envy. Every emotion it goes through. So it becomes difficult for me, Krishna, even if I have the Shraddha to reach. So supposing I have Shraddha and I have this untrained mind within me, it may happen that I may not achieve the result I am seeking. That is the state of self-realization. In that case, what is going to happen to my effort? As soon as the line comes that what is going to happen to my effort, you have become result-oriented. There is a slight difference. When we say result-oriented, means you or anyone is doing action and work, karma, according to the result they are going to get. Result needs to be seen. It needs to be determined as a quality check whether the action performed was good. For that, the result needs to be checked. But you can't be obsessed with the result. So based on the result, if we start doing action, then we'll end up as a big zero. So Arjuna, living a selfish life, is basically asking, what will happen to all my efforts? For which Krishna beautifully says, don't worry. If your life is based on giving, if your life is based on duties and responsibilities, if your life is based on what am I supposed to do in this situation, not what others are supposed to do for me, then whatever is your effort will not be wasted. Whenever you are in this path, of karma yoga, actions doing for higher cause, none of the efforts will get wasted. Here or hereafter, even after this, it will not. So hereafter, he gives an indication that if not in this life or perhaps some other life, if it comes, even there, you will be good. See, if we are intelligent enough, we understand that I don't know what my next life is going to be. In fact, I don't even know whether next life is going to be there or not. I am here, you are here, we are living in this situation and this environment. And in this position, I'm supposed to be happy. Please explain me how to be happy when all these things are going on around me. That should be the valid question. But when the thought is what my result is going to get, so such a person is a Rajasic mind. I've explained this. And therefore, the thought is in next Janma, if it is there, your efforts will not be wasted. Whatever action, good action, unselfish action, the law of giving you take in life, you will be born in the house of the pure and the wealthy. Pure and the wealthy is the first he's put. Why? Because Arjuna wants wealth. He is basically concentrating on the thought of if I get this Rajya, what I should do. So every aspect of the Dhananjaya is called Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya means the winner of wealth. So when he's talking about the winner of wealth, Krishna is saying, next Janma, you will become pure, good heart, just like you are now, and tremendously wealthy. When Arjuna is listening to this, Krishna moves to the next verse. We'll just chant the next verse. Athava yoginameva kule bhavati dhimata etadvidurlabhataram loke janmayadidrisham. Or if not pure and wealthy, or he is born into a family of wise yogis only. Verily, a birth such as this is very difficult to obtain in this world. Pure and wealthy you can get. Chances are you can get. There are a lot of people who are basically pure of heart, not necessarily evolutionary by nature, but basically pure by heart and wealthy for sustenance. That's okay. But if you have done real hard work, then you will be born in the house of the yogis. See, the house of the yogis, and Krishna himself says, the Lord himself says, it is very difficult to get a birth like this. So what is the biggest advantage of very difficult getting a birth like this? It's simple. When you are dying with pure thoughts inside your heart, you are born in the house of the yogis if you are evolved. Imagine a household where you are born, where nobody runs, the whole house, whether it is father, mother, brother, sister, whoever is there around you. Nobody runs behind the contact of sensuality and materiality. Nobody's run as if their existence is depending on only money, wealth, and external contacts of the world. Imagine, they are not obsessed about it. Then what happens? Every day morning, the whole household gets up. They put some chants in the morning. There are rituals, some prayers are going on. Some of the children in the house are sitting and studying in the early morning. Then they get up, they go for a walk or a run or a gym or whatever it is, whatever be the mode of exercises. Every aspect of their life is determined and directed only towards evolution. Even while sitting for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with the whole family, the hot topic of the day is not coronavirus. It's not television. the hot topic of the day is, at present where we are facing some problems intellectually and mentally to face a lot of problems in the world. So how do we alleviate ourselves to a position where we don't get affected, even though we see that the whole world seems to be affected? The discussion of the family is based on self evolution only. Forget about the world. How to make oneself better? What kind of new exercises have come in the market, which is good for me? What kind of mental thoughts should I entertain to reach this higher state of consciousness? All the discussions are based on that. Food habits are based on that. What kind of a food you are eating, how you are eating. When you are talking to each other amongst your own family, your language matters. So nobody shouts, it's entirely a different cup of tea. Therefore, many people, when they go to some saint's house, even for staying, supposing for 2 3 days, if they want to stay for 1 week, the person will come and leave in 3 days. Actually, it happened. Person came and left in 3 days. I say, what happened? Why are you leaving so soon? And the person said, because this house is like a cremation ground. It is so peaceful, so quiet. Nobody fights. That means fighting should be inbuilt in a family. Huh? This kind is a house of the rishis. And such a house of the rishis, if you get birth, it is very, very difficult, says Krishna. There's this beautiful story of a Guru Maharaj, a simple man called Vithoba Pant. So Vithoba Pant was staying with his wife Rukmini Bai. Both were happy. They had 4 children. Vithoba Pant suddenly realized that he wants to find out about Brahman, about the supreme reality, that which is the goal of everybody, should be a goal of everybody. So he leaves his wife and children and moves away to the Himalayas. There he visits a particular ashram and he tells them. So the master is saying, are you alone? He actually lies to the master and says, yes, I am alone. I don't have anybody in the world. He said, okay, you can join the ashram. And the ashram was joined. And the Maharaj was roaming around everywhere. So he came towards Maharashtra. So Vithoba Pant's wife, Rukmini Bai, she came for a blessing, because whenever Maharajas come, they take a blessing. And the Maharaja said, may you be very happy. She said, it's not possible. I cannot be very happy because my husband left me. He said, left for what? Oh, for higher studies. My husband left me because he wanted to find out what Paramatma is. Acha, acha, acha. What is his name? And when she gave the name, he didn't say anything. He just went off back again to the Himalayas. He fired that man, Vithoba Pant, and threw him out of the ashram. First of all, for telling lies that I don't have anybody. Vithoba Pant came back again. Now, in the society of Maharashtra, then we are talking about approximately the 16th century. At that time, you take sannyasa, you are praised a lot. Wow, you are given up the world. Huh? Amazing. But when you come back into the world, then the respect is completely lost. Then the thought is, see, that person went to become something, but he came back. Yes, sabki baat nahi hai. Not everybody can become a Buddha. That kind of a taunt. And everybody gave him a taunt, and they removed him from that so-called Brahmin caste. So-called Brahmin caste. Okay. At that time, it was prevalent, but they did not even know how to go about it. So Vithoba Pant, Rukmini Bai, and their 4 children built a small hut somewhere near the river, and they started staying. But the society was being so bad to them that Vithoba and Rukmini both went into the sea and they committed suicide. The 4 children were staying alone. House of the Rishis is, the sattvic content of this house was so much. They did a mistake by committing suicide, but these 4 children, the eldest son was called Nivritti. The second son was called Jnaneshwar. The third son was called Sopan. And fourth daughter, was called Muktabai. Nivritti means no vritti, no dirt, complete purity. When the mind is following a stature of complete purity, so even when junk comes outside and tries to dump into my head, I refuse to take it. The maintenance of my mind in its purest form, nivritti. When I am like that, then it is easy for me to assimilate the knowledge. Jnana Ishwar, Jnana ka Ishwar. I become the Ishwara. I become the God of knowledge. God of knowledge in the sense of I know what the knowledge is now, and I know how it works in the world. How that knowledge can transform a personality, we have seen it. So second quality is Jnaneshwar, knowledge becomes easy. Third is Sopan, life becomes easy. Then every aspect the life throws at you, any kind of life, whether it is good life or bad life or the situation the worst, you exactly know how to deal with everything and everyone. It becomes easy to a level. It's like, when you see the great musicians of Ustad Amjad Ali Khan or any of these people, Vinayak, I think so, the Gadam. So all these people, when you look at them, how easily they are playing the musical instrument. Pandit Ravi Shankar Sharma with the santur, you try the two sticks, all different types of noise will come. When they play, music comes. Why? It becomes easy. It becomes sopan. Life becomes easy. When you use this technology in life, it becomes easy. So other people look at, how can you remain so calm? It is very easy. But the problem is nobody wants to do the hard work of before becoming easy. They just want the easy way out. So you become sopan. And when the easy way you are living, automatically you realize the self and you become mukta. The fourth girl's name, Mukta. The names are given accordingly. Can you believe the names are given accordingly to your spiritual passage? And the children grew up helping each other. And in that, Jnaneshwar was studying constantly. Nivritti went out somewhere, and after a little 3-4 days, he came back, but he came back all wizened up. And he was the teacher of Jnaneshwar. A time came where they wanted some job. And for that job, they needed a letter from the topmost Brahmin people, the so-called caste system at that time. So Jnaneshwar, Nivritti, all the 4 children went and said, please give us a letter that we are Brahmins. And the main Mahatma said, you cannot be a Brahmin because your father already escaped and he died away. So you are not a Brahmin. He came back. So you are not a Brahmin. And when they didn't have a letter, they can't get a job. At that time, it was there. And they say that, so what should I do to prove I am a Brahmin? Nivritti said. So Jnaneshwar also said the same thing. So that Pandit is looked at one of the man carrying, bringing in a buffalo. And he told the man that, what is the name of that buffalo? So that man also was listening to all these conversations. So smilingly he said, Jnana. So the buffalo's name is also Jnana. Your name is also Jnana. So if you say the soul is one and the same, in every animal and human being, the soul is the same, then please make the buffalo speak. And Jnaneshwar says that, why speak? He will chant a shloka. And Jnaneshwar chants the shloka holding the head of the buffalo, and the buffalo starts chanting slokas. That's the level of knowledge of Jnaneshwar. In the house of the wise, you will be born. Then the Brahmin says, who are we to give you a letter of authority? You give us Ashirwad that we are okay. We have done a lot of wrong in our life. Please give us Ashirwad. We should not get into this casteism. So that thought was given by Jnaneshwar himself. Just holding on to the idea is, if you have the right kind of knowledge, like Jnaneshwar, Anybody in the society can be communicated. Anybody in the society can be taught, provided teach them in their language. We are taking children's class, we are teaching children the Bhagavad Gita, the same thing what you people are learning. We are talking to the teenagers the same language in a different way. Everything can be taught if given time for growth. But our biggest vice, our biggest problem is this hurriedness, impatience of everybody should grow at a very fast rate. When our focus is on doing a great job in evolutionary nature, next janma, 100% you will be in the house of the rishis. 100%. Next verse will go. Tatra tam buddhi samyogam labhate paurvadehikam yatate chatato bhuyah samsiddhau kuru nandana. There, united with the knowledge acquired in his former body, he strives more than before for perfection. O Kuru Nandana, O son of the Kurus, there, where? In the house of the yogis, not in the house of the pure and wealthy. Pure and wealthy will be back again. Birth, death, the cycle will go on. But in the house of the yogis, then he remembers what? The knowledge previously acquired. It's a beautifully put word, united with the knowledge acquired in his former body. Why I'm hinging on that is because when people die, in fact, much more later, before anybody even thinks of death, whole life is based on only these two aspects of life. One is acquiring things from the world. Second is trying to enjoy things that are acquired. Right from childhood, this cycle goes on. Everybody is doing it. So I acquire knowledge, I acquire money, I acquire family, and I keep on acquiring objects and beings around like nobody's business. And every time, what was my need once has become my greed. And what is my greed now has become a necessity. So now what I can do without, I say that no, this is very necessary for me because there is no end to acquisition. And after acquiring, what do you do with all the thing you have gathered? Enjoy. I have acquired a family. What do you do? Go for a holiday. Even that we don't enjoy, but go for a holiday. Get into parties, get into everything we want to. A whole life is based on this. Acquisition and enjoyment. And at the end, when the body becomes diseased and decayed, systematically and slowly, deliberately, the body goes away. At that time, all the prosperity, all the materiality is the attitude with which I have and hold my material wealth. Sensuality is the attitude with which I indulge in my senses, saying that it is the beginning and the end of everything. Then, when time comes, nothing goes along. One rich man called Guru Nanak to his house. Nanak went. The rich man's wife was a satsangi. The rich man was not. So rich man is saying that, see, this is, our chandelier and we ordered it from Italy. This is our flooring and we ordered the tiles from there. And he was showing off. It's the biggest disease, I've told this many times, obsessive showing off disorder. Do you know how big my car is? Who wants to know? What is the cost of my car? Who wants to know? Where you are going? How big is the house? What difference does it make? But then this rich man was sowing to the spiritual person. And the wife was getting very embarrassed because she knew the stature of Nanak. Nanak did something. He took from the dining table a safety pin and gave it to the man and says, bring it. And he left. So the man holding the safety pin did not know what it meant. He said, what do you mean, bring it? He took the pin from my dining table and gave it to me. And he said, bring it. And Nanak left. These are the masters. They don't explain all this. They just leave. And he was sitting and thinking, bring it means what? 2 days, 3 days, he can't think about it. He tried SMSing Nanak, but it didn't work because they are out of touch at that time. The wife was intelligent enough. So the wife said, listen, I'm seeing you that you're struggling for past 2 days for an answer of Nanak saying, bring this. It means when you die and you are reborn again, you will not be able to carry even a pin from here. Therefore, he said, bring this. Whatever you have collected, whatever, big assets, big palaces. I have house here, I have this where, I have property here, I have car here, I got relationships, all this, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this, naming of acquisition and enjoyment. You know how big a guru I am? You know how many people follow me? How many people like? You know how big is my ashram? How big idols are there in my ashram? Do you know? Whole world follows me. Do you know? All these acquisition and enjoyment, whether family or relationship or ashrams or knowledge for that matter, for a spiritual person views all this like a small child making palaces and temples and churches and mosques by the side of the beach with sand. And he makes all this beautiful temple, beautiful church, beautiful mosque, beautiful Gurudwara, lovely palace with people around, my mother, my father, all this on sand, with sand. And a truly spiritual person looks at that, all that the child has made, and claps and says, very good, huh, beta, very good. Knowing fully well that the child is indulging in something which he can't take even one grain of sand out of it. Everything needs to be left behind. Everything needs to be left behind. So when this attitude comes, he says, you will not be able to take anything there. All the materiality and sensuality, you can't take a single iota, an atom of these things there. But what you will take? Only your knowledge. This, I am made up of body, mind, intellect. The mind intellect is called, so gross body is called the gross body. Gross body because I can see it. Inside this gross body is functioning two beautiful equipments, mind and intellect. Mind is full of emotions, moods, impulses, and in fact, it is defined as likes and dislikes. I like this, I will do. I don't like this, I will not do. Based on likes. So what I like, I will eat. Whether it is good for me or not, doesn't matter. What I don't like, I will not eat or drink. Whether it is good for bad, nothing matters. Likes, this is mind. And intellect, that which reasons what should be done. So mind and intellect is called the subtle body, which runs this gross body. And what runs the subtle body are the vasanas. Vasanas is the technical term which is called the seed of the subtle body. I don't know from where my thought comes. It must be coming from somewhere, perhaps the seed of my personality. Therefore, they are called vasanas. The vasanas are the causal body, that which causes the body, causes the subtle body. Subtle body, mind and intellect cause the gross body. So what happens during death? The gross body falls down. Now it can't fulfill the desires. The vehicle has grown old. It's become useless. So you throw the cloth away, you throw that machinery away. Similarly, the subtle body and the causal body decide that this vehicle is no more of importance and it is to be discarded. It's a natural phenomenon. So the vehicle is discarded and the subtle and the causal body move away to a different situation, different place, based on the dictates of the desires. Now, what the desires want, prominence of that subtle body, that will decide what kind of a body I need, what kind of a situation I need to live in, what kind of parentage I will have. Okay? That is the decision maker. So previous janma, what knowledge you have, you will have the same knowledge starting point now. It will be carried forward from the previous janma. And in this janma, after getting that acquired knowledge from the former, I will strive more. That's the whole idea. He strives more than before for perfection. The struggle doesn't go away. So many people talk about death. We have no idea what is death. Death is giving up of the physical body that we can see. What happens after that, next janma or not, we don't know. But what we can see, since we don't know anything, we always relate everything with cause and effect. For every cause, there has to be an effect. For every effect, there has to be a cause. We are very big scientists in that way. So we follow science. Then there are a lot of things in the world we don't know the cause. What did I do to deserve this? No idea. Since there is no idea, what they say, you must have done something wrong in the past. Therefore, this kind of a person has come and hurt you. So what should I do? Nothing. You can't change that person. Do good now, so that in the future, such hurt should not come. The blame was put on my past. I don't know what. So every aspect is given that way only. In the world, when I see, there are new babies born. And they are so different. Some child is just sitting in the crib and crying and crying and crying away to glory. The other child is constantly smiling at every passerby. The third child is looking at the Jhumar and he keeps on doing this as if he's playing a music. Every child, even from the childhood, are different. How are they getting different qualities and vasanas? Who knows? We don't know. It seems as something, the gunas of the child has come from literally nothing. It seems so. On second aspect, when we see people dying away, and when they are dying away, they are not very happy. Thank God, chalo, I am going to die. Everything is done. Yamraj, take me. It's not that. Why did this not happen? I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. So many unfulfilled desires. So much desires is energy. So much energy literally going into nothing. So on one aspect, people are dying. Energy is going from something to literally nothing. On the other aspect, when we view children, energy coming from nothing going into something. So all these great masters said, perhaps that unfulfilled desire, when it says it's going into nothing, may have been born into something. Therefore, it is called a theory of reincarnation. It's a theory. Okay. So what happens? How am I born? Very simple. Very simple. Whatever is my predominant desire, it will take me to the next destination. Even in this class, Next, probably in 5-10 minutes, the class will be over. Supposing I take the class, I say, excuse me, today's class is for 1.5 hours. And I continue the talk. Those who want to listen, they will say, Arey, wow, 1.5 hours, I'll sit and listen. Those people say, my God, I have another situation and I need to be there. I can't watch this content. I'll do that, in the recording, but now I'll switch off. And exactly at 45 or 50 of it, whatever is your time of cutoff, you will switch off. Why? Because your desires have determined where you have to go next. Based on your desires, you are making each and every moment of your life. Desire to get married, therefore get married. Desire not to get married, therefore not married. Everything is determined by the desire. So imagine an old man watching television and he's seeing the great beaches of Europe. A person staying in India and he's never seen anything like that. And he's looking and saying, my God, they are so beautiful. They are so advanced. They are so this, they are so that. Is constantly. And he's building up the desire that they are beautiful, they are beautiful, they are beautiful. The beaches are beautiful. The watercolor is beautiful. The infrastructure is beautiful. The cars are beautiful. The country is beautiful. Constant desire. And you look also and say that, but they are not happy. But infrastructure is very good. They're very rich people, capitalistic country, but they are not basically happy. They are not spiritual. Nobody is spiritual there. So these two thoughts, that will determine my next birth, which has got more strength of desire. So first, that man will be born in that particular country, with that particular situation, with that particular amenities and facilities, to that desire to get exhausted. And when the desires are exhausted and he misses that spiritual, he will be dead again there, whatever be the age, depending on the desires. Depending on the desires. So it can be any age, okay? And he is born again in perhaps a spiritual country, in whatever way you can consider spiritualities. Resultant desire is when, I'm just giving you 2 desires. Imagine 100 desires wanting and yet going towards a particular direction, and something else entirely happens. This is explained when most people don't want to die and yet they die, because the resultant desire has come. Life has become so bad, it's not worth doing anything. Hey Bhagwan, utha le yaar, utha le. Finish kar. Knee paining, body paining, head. This is like too much, when you continuously say this. And the poor guy, God also says, chalo yaar, utha leta hu. And when he comes in that buffalo, you have trouble. These are just theories. So understand them and live beautifully. So when you have that acquired knowledge, granthas, that person functions much more in this world. And he functions harder for state of perfection. Guaranteed he reaches in his particular time. We'll continue next time. Thank you. Oh